Okay, I want to start the video by solving this easy equation. Negative 4x plus 1 equals 3x plus 15. Your x's are powerless, meaning they have no powers, so those are first powers. That means there's just one answer to the equation. Okay, now we've been doing these for a long time. You just get rid of one of your x's. We'll go with the smaller one. So you add 4x to 3x, and then you add it to 3x, and you got 7x plus 15. Now on the x side of things, I got a times and a plus. So get rid of your plus 15 with a minus 15. 1 minus 15 is negative 14, and then you have 7 times x. Then you get rid of your times 7 by dividing by 7. Okay, so we have x, negative 14 divided by 7 is negative 2. We've been solving those for the whole year. Now, blank. Okay, we're going to solve this equation here for x, okay? We have x to the second power plus 5x minus 14 equals 0. Now we have x to the second, so when I go to solve the equation, we have two answers, okay? Alright, we have x to the second and we have x to the first, so that tells me we have to apply factoring properties. So, first I make sure I'm set equal to 0. There's your equals and you got 0. Write the word set, okay? If you are set equal to 0, now come over here and underline what the terms you have. You have a 1x second, a 5x, and a 14. That is 3 terms I need to factor. Whenever I have 3 terms, I make my GCF table, or my GCF box. My bad, it's not really a table. Then you make a long box now. After that, you will make a long box. You will split it in half and put a T table here. And down here is for me to put my parentheses after I've found the numbers off my T table. Okay. Okay, so GCF, you're over here, okay? The equals 0 you can put behind your GCF box, okay? Do you have a variable on that last number? You don't. Do you have a negative in front? You don't. 1, 5, and 14. Well, on the chart, the only place we got 1, 5, and 14 is in row 1, which makes sense. 1's the smallest number, so 1 you put out there. If all you can put out there is a 1, don't do it, okay? I mean, now you're going to see me setting it up, but if I can find a GCF of 1, I'm not going to do it. Now, label this trinomial A, B, and C. Now, take positive 1 times negative 14. You take your A times your C. Positive 1 times negative 14. Well, that's negative 14. So as soon as you write that down, you should write mismatch. If it's a mismatch, just put positive, negative. Doesn't matter what side. It will eventually, but we'll fix it if it's wrong. Then you write what you need to add to. You're always adding to what our B is. In this instance, a positive 5. Okay? That's what you're adding to. Okay, so start dividing 14. So 14 divided by 1, 14. Now add those. Is that going to be 5 of any kind? Probably not. Cross it out, put the signs up again. Before you start divide, before you put numbers, you got to put signs. After 1 comes 2. 2, 7. Add those. 2 plus negative 7. Okay, it's negative 5. Well, I have the right number, it's just the wrong sign. So if you have that problem, you just simply make it plus over here and negative over there. Okay? Now, you need to get in the habit of putting what the A is before you put your parentheses. Your A is 1x to the second. You got to remember that. So you're going to make 2 parentheses now. And put your minus 2 and your plus 7 you came up with. That times that is the negative 14. Okay, then 1x to the second, so it's going to be 1, 1, and then x to the second is x. Scratch out the ones, okay? And you've done it, okay? But you're not done. Now you take it a step further. X minus 2, x plus 7. Put those in, okay? Now you put equals 0. All you've done is taken that and rewritten it in a different formation, the P1, P2 formation, or I call it F1, F2. So x minus 2 could equal 0, or x plus 7 could equal 0. Now you solve them. So you plus 2, that would give you 2. Then you minus 7, that would give you negative 7. Okay, those are your answers, 2 and negative 7. Okay, next problem. X to the second power minus 11x plus 24 equals 0. So we know that x has two answers because in the equation it's to the second power. Okay, you see it right there. You have x to the second power and you have x. Okay, these are not like terms. You can't combine them. You need to use your factor properties, factoring. So you circle your equals first. Okay, if 0's there, you're set. Okay, so you got 1x to the second, negative 11x and 24. Again, that's three terms. So GCF box, then you make your T table. That equals 0 just kicks out of the GCF box. You're just looking at these. There's no variable, there's no negative, 1, 11, 24. Those are just going to be in the first row again. So your GCF is just 1. Okay? So if it's 1, we're not doing it. Dividing by 1's stupid. It doesn't change what we have. Then ABC. 1 times 24 is 24. Positive 1 times positive 24. Positive times positive is positive. Okay? So you got positive. Now you should be writing down match. When you write down match, just start with negative, negative. Just do that. Okay? You're adding to negative 11. If you have to switch it to positives, you always can, okay? So start dividing. 24 divided by 1 is 24, so I write down 1, 24. Add those, I don't think that's negative 11. Okay, 24 divided by 2 is 12, so you put the 2 and 12. Nope. After 2 comes 3, 24, 3 and 8. Now add those. Negative 11, got it. Okay. Now before you go to your parentheses, put what your A is. A is 1x to the power of 2. Okay. So this ought to be pretty easy now that I've found the numbers. Minus 3, minus 8. Then 1 times 1 is 1. X times x is x to the second. Scratch out your 1's. So you're going to have x minus 3 times x minus 8 equals 0. It's still equal to 0. You just took that and wrote it into the P1, P2. Now you use it to solve. F1, F2. So x minus 3 could equal 0, or x minus 8 could equal 0. Plus 3, x equals 3. Plus 8, x equals 8. 3 and 8. Okay, next problem, and we're going to skip some. We have x to the second power plus 6x equals 55, so there are two answers. We do have x second, and we have x. If you have those two things, you can't combine them. You need to use factoring properties. Problem is you don't have the 0. Well, you're going to put 0 and you're going to minus the 55. But we can't take minus 55 to 1x to the second. 55 has no type of x. It can't go here either, so you put it behind everything. Now, if you have to do that, if you have to get the 0 yourself, you write equals 0, and then you set up your slots. So we have x to the second slot, x slot, and there's also going to be a constant. So we have those three things. X second, you got 1. X, yep, we got positive 6. Constant, yep, we now have negative 55, and it is negative when it's a minus like that. Now you're exactly to where you want to be. Those are your three terms, GCF table. Okay, I am not seeing a letter on that. I am not seeing a negative. 1, 6, and 55 is 1. Get out of here, GCF. Not going to do it. A, B, C. So you take positive 1 times negative 55. That's positive 1 times negative 55. Well, that's negative 55. What should you write down right away? Mismatch. For two things to multiply to a negative, the signs have to mismatch. Just put positive, negative. We'll switch them if they're wrong. Okay. We're adding to the B term. Go look at your B. It's positive 6. Okay. So start dividing. 55 divided by 1 is 55. You take this number divided by the integers. Yeah, that's not it. Obviously. Okay. It's got to be 6. Positive, negative. 55 divided by 2 is a decimal. 55 divided by 3, decimal. 55 divided by 4, decimal. 55. You see, I'm always going back to the 55. 5 and 11. If it's a decimal, you skip it and move on to the next integer. 5 plus negative 11. Okay, negative 6, I need to get positive 6. And if it's the wrong sign, you flip it. I'm going to dock points like crazy if the signs are wrong. If you end up with the right number but the wrong sign, you flip it. Okay. A is 1x to the second power, so that means this is easy now. So minus 5 plus 11. Then 1, 1, x, x. Okay. Scratch out your 1s. Then you go x minus 5, x plus 11 equals 0. Okay? So F1, F2. So x minus 5 could equal 0, or the x plus 11 factor could equal 0. So plus 5, that takes me to 5. Minus 11, that would be negative 11. I'm not doing that one, not doing this one, not doing this one. I'll do this one, okay. X to the second plus 8 equals 6x. So again, there's two answers, okay. Look through the equation, you have x to the second and you have x. That tells me I have to factor. Okay, you need to get a 0 on that side because you're not set. You subtract the 6x then. That can't go here because that's x to the second, and it can't go here because that's a constant. You put minus 6x behind it. Now, you line up equals 0, and this is why you need to slot it. X second, x, constant. X second is 1. Now the x, that's at negative 6. Now it's a negative 6. Then 8. It's got to be in that order. Now you can go to town. There's your three terms. So GCF table. Do you have x? No. Do you have negative? No. 1, 6, and 8 is just 1. Don't just cross it out. A, B, C, 1 times 8. 1 times 8. Positive 1 times positive 8 is positive 8. What's that mean? It means a match. Just put negative, negative. Okay, if we have to switch it to positive, positive, we'll do it. And we are adding to the b, which is negative 6. Okay, start dividing 8. 1 and 8, so put 1 and 8 down. Negative 1 plus negative 8, that's probably not negative 6, but always good to be sure. Then 2, 8 divided by 2, 2 and 4. This 8, 2, 4. Okay, what's negative 2 plus negative 4? Oh, it's negative 6. Right number, right sign, we're good. Okay. Now, a equals 1x to the second power. Okay. I'm always writing that because I know I'm going to have the minus 2 and the minus 4. Okay. 1x second would mean I'd have 1x. Okay. Scratch out your 1's. So now we've rewritten this as x minus 2 times x minus 4 equals 0. Okay. So x minus 2 equals 0, x minus 4 equals 0. Plus 2, I get 2. Plus 4, and that is 4. Okay, I'll do the next one. X to the second power minus 15x equals negative 8x minus 10. So anytime that x second shows up, we're looking for two answers. We got x second, and we definitely have x that are powerless in there, meaning they're to the first, so you have to apply your factoring properties. Okay. Okay, we need the 0. I don't see it. Put a 1 there. So I add 8x, so to get rid of a negative 8x. And I actually have an x here to go off of, so I put it there. Okay, if you have something over there like a like term, you put it. Then plus 10. Now that's a 10 constant. It can't go here, it can't go here, it just goes up here. So now you put equals 0 and slot it. Okay, so x second, what do we got? The 1. X, what do you got? Well, we have a negative 15 plus an 8. And yes, that needs to be entered in as a negative 15 plus 8, and that's negative 7. Then our constant's 10. Okay, you see that's positive 10 now. I brought it over. So, GCF and table. I'm not seeing an x, I'm not seeing a negative, and the equals 0 is just spaced out. Okay, you can put that there. 1, 7, and 10 is 1. Again, okay, A, B, C. What's 1 times positive 10? Positive 1 times positive 10 is positive 10. Okay, so you should be writing match down. Okay, now if it's a match, just put negative, negative. It matches. I'll change it to positive if it's wrong. Add equals the b, which is negative 7. Okay, so start dividing. 10 divided by 1 is 10. So add them. Nope. After 1 comes 2. 10 divided by 2. 2 and 5. Negative 2 plus negative 5, negative 7, boom. A equals 1x to the second power, okay? So minus 2, minus 5, then 1, 1x. Take the 1's off, you don't need those there, okay? So x minus 2 times x minus 5 equals 0. F1, F2. Now you apply the zero product rule. X minus 2 equals 0, X minus 5 equals 0. Plus 2, X equals 2. Plus 5, X would equal 5. 2 and 5. Okay, I'm going to do the next problem. I'm going to cross this out, then we're done. At least x to the second power minus 8 equals negative 13x plus 6. So there are two answers. Same old stuff. You got x squared, you got x, you got a factor. Problem is, here's my equals. I'm not seeing a 0, so you need to clear this side. Get that crap out of there. So plus 13x. That's x second. That's a constant. You hang it out here. Minus 6. Minus 6. You can do that from the 8, the negative 8. Now slot it. Put equals 0 yourself. Now you're set, and you slot it. So x second, you got 1. X, that's that 13 up there. It's positive. Then to find your constant, you take negative 8. If that's a minus on top, you enter it as a negative, and then minus 6, negative 14. Now we're ready to go, GCFT. Remember, you're over here. The equals 0 just kicks out. Okay. No x, no negative. It's just 1 again. A, B, C. 1 times negative 14 is negative 14. Is that a match or a mismatch? That's a mismatch. So just put positive on one side, negative on the other. We are adding to try to make the B, which is positive 13. 1, 14. Let's add those. Okay, it's negative 13. To make it positive, it's really easy. You just make it positive 14, negative 1. A is 1x to the second. So you just put minus 1 plus 14. 1, 1, x, x. Take the 1's off, scratch them out. And you have x minus 1, x plus 14. Plus 1, x equals 1, minus 14, minus 14, x would equal negative 14. You have 4 problems to do. One of them set, the other ones you have to get set yourself. You slot them, and remember to add the right things together.